Will the IRS settle your tax debt for less than you owe? You've heard ads, maybe seen them on TV, where people settle a $25,000 tax debt for a dollar. How is this possible? How do you qualify? And what determines what the settlement amount is? I'm Jim Flauaus. I am a enrolled agent, meaning I'm enrolled to practice before the IRS, and I can represent taxpayers in all 50 states. I've been working with the IRS Collection Division to resolve taxpayer problems since 2011. And so I've got some experience in this, and maybe can give you some ideas on how to proceed, how not to proceed when it comes to getting an IRS notice, getting scared to death, making a bad decision, and then regretting it later. You don't want to do that. Here's generally what happens. You've been getting notices, you're not sure what step the IRS is going to take next. And so there's a lot of stress if you've ever been in a position where you owe the IRS a lot of money. And that stress can lead to bad decision making. So because things feel urgent, you want to protect your assets, protect your paycheck, you call a tax firm, a tax relief company. And this is where unscrupulous firms can unfortunately kind of jump on your stress, your fear, and your state of mind. They'll pressure you to make a decision because they're promising you that they can settle for less. There's some magic program, something fresh start, something you're not sure what. But between the magic formulas and the magic dust, you decide to move forward because, hey, these people are the experts, right? They've run these ads and they must be good at what they do because, hey, it's in their business name, and they talk a good game. Unfortunately, you may have talked to more of a sales professional than a tax professional. Their job was to get you to sign and to move forward to pay a retainer, and then only later do you find out that the IRS disqualified your offer, didn't accept it because, well, you didn't meet the standards. So, how do you submit an offer to the IRS? What criteria do they use to decide to give you some sort of tax forgiveness, tax settlement? The program is called an offer in compromise. You submit an offer to the IRS to compromise your debt. I've had success in this. I have had cases where a taxpayer owed $25,000. We settled for a dollar. A taxpayer owed over $300,000. We settled for $22,500. The reason the IRS accepted these crazy offers is because they use a formula. The formula is called the Reasonable Collection Potential Formula, RCP. It basically takes what is your equity in your assets. Example, how much equity do you have in your home? How much do you have in the bank right now? What is your IRA account worth? Do you have crypto or investment accounts? Those would be some assets. They also take a look at what is your disposable income on a monthly basis. Like you and perhaps your spouse, you have a certain level of monthly income. You've got expenses for housing and transportation and healthcare and food and so on. After those reasonable expenses are deducted, is there anything left to send to the IRS? That's what they call disposable income. So between your equity and your assets and your disposable income, they come up with a formula that determines the number that they will accept in compromise of your debt. They will accept it because that's the best they know they can probably do. We have demonstrated that by submitting paperwork, a Form 656, also a Form 433. These are the two IRS forms you must submit in order to enter the offer and compromise program. From there on, it will take a while for them to process. The reality is, not many offers in compromise are accepted as is. They need to be submitted with some wisdom. You know, the way that you value these things, the numbers you put on the page, there's various ways you can come up with them. I'm not saying we're stretching the truth. I'm saying there's advantageous ways to do it. And so you want to know someone, a trusted professional, who can help you to navigate these waters, who's filed offers in compromise, knows the pitfalls, knows what not to do, and so can get you successfully across the finish line. The reality is very few offers are accepted that are not submitted by a professional. And so it's really simple. A tax professional who's skilled in working with the collection division of the IRS knows what to do and what not to do. They've been doing this, for example, in my life, I've been doing this since 2011. So I've had experience. I know what works. I know what not to do. And that expertise and experience can avail a lot of benefit to clients. The IRS has files with thousands of offers, most of which are rejected. You, on the other hand, are just dealing with your own situation. So this may be the first time you've ever dealt with the IRS collection division. It's kind of like going to court without an attorney. It's not really being in a strong position or knowing quite what to do. So how they process your offer is based on the RCP, Reasonable Collection Potential Formula. It's not a situation where, hey, and many taxpayers have asked me this, I owe the IRS 50 grand. If I can come across with cash right now for 30 grand, will they forgive the other 20 just because I have the cash? No, doesn't work that way. They really do use the Reasonable Collection Potential Formula. And so if you need help, if you'd like to learn more about this, please contact me. I'll have my link below here, and you can contact me and be glad to talk with you further about your case, find out how much the IRS claims you owe, what years are unfiled, what your income situation is, find out more on your record of account from the IRS so we can determine, what do you really qualify for. If it's an offer in compromise, great, we'll move forward. But there's a high likelihood there's another program out there you can use to settle with the IRS in an advantageous way. There's payment plans, partial pay agreements, there's not collectible status, there's the offer in compromise program. So there's several programs. The one you qualify for is the one that we will put to our best efforts to work at in getting it accepted and getting you to the point where the IRS problem is behind you. I'm Jim Flauaus. I hope you found this helpful. Please follow for more. Hit the thumbs up sign, and we'll see you next time.